Yeah,
I
and then
feel
mess
different
with it, and
this way
I
this
feel
time.
different. Yeah, so
Dude,
and that's
I did the
that's
same goddamn thing. Like
and-
I'll edit stuff, then I'll be like, I don't know if it's a block or I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
looking at like, let me just
yeah,
step away, and then I come back and I feel like more refreshed
Yep.
after. Like I have this bad thing where I'll start little things and I'll
Yeah.
just go back to them and touch them. I can't start from start to finish on something.
yeah,
I'll get to like a base of what I want of a video, then I'll go mess with another and finish off and touch that one off, and then come back and I feel refreshed.
yeah.
Because I feel like, do you ever get like burned out, like
Oh yeah,
looking over at
Yeah,
like
for
something
sure.
over and over again?
and
It's
and that
like,
kind of goes into like the creative block stuff, but yeah, I just lost my train of thought.
yeah, no, it just
because I was gonna go back, but what's the original question? I'm sorry.
well, we were talking about the let's see, just the style and stuff
Oh,
like that,
okay,
and just coming
okay.
back and just
Yeah,
how you
And so-
approach it.
yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing, right? Because when I don't have those like strict left and right limits, or like
Mhm.
I don't have necessary like expectations from
Yeah.
someone else, I'm able to do
Yeah, and I think that's the best
whatever I
part.
want, pretty much.
Because eventually, like, and even me, I'm getting to the point where people like, I'm getting good feedback, and
Yeah.
I'll just tell people, well, what do you want me to do? You do your thing, and I'm like,
And
hell yeah, that's like
it's-
my best.
You're building your portfolio and you're building your art off of your own perspective.
Yeah.
Off of your own vision, off of
Mhm.
your own creativity, off of your own 2 nights of creative block
Yeah,
that you struggle through, and then pull something out of your ass and you're
Mhm.
like,
hell yeah,
hell yeah. So and I think, I try to be like, oh, I'm definitely an out of the box dude, but then I'm like, I don't think I want to do like
yeah, like,
weddings or something
yeah,
like that.
we were saying that,
but I
too,
might be
man.
an awesome behind the scenes wedding
Yeah.
photographer. So I don't know.
Well, that's the thing too.
so-
It's like, I'm not saying no to everything, but at the
Yeah.
same time, I rather do this if
Yeah.
it makes sense to do
Yeah,
something. Like somebody
sure.
says, "Hey, Jimmy, can you help us out with doing a videography thing for my family or for
Yeah.
this?" Then okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as like,
but when
paid-
you're talking about
paid
taking your
clients and-
dedicated effort
yeah,
to like be very specific in what you're
yeah,
trying to learn and
I'm
grow
good
in,
on
yeah.
that. I'm good. I just feel like, and I'm not hating on anybody that
Yeah.
does. Like for me, I feel like I'm such a creative person. I've learned.
Look, you don't
So
want
over
my
my
behind
time.
the scenes Bridezilla raw uncensored photos, yo, because you'll get cooked.
I'm
like,
gonna put those up,
I'm
man.
gonna post them on my IG and like, this is
You
what
know,
you paid me for.
right?
You wanted to experience in the moment, like that's Bridezilla, bro.
Right? You pay me, I'm gonna give you
Mhm.
those. But talking about like, just being different, and you're saying you're like kind of out of the box. Let's start talking about the equipment side. Like, what are some gear and equipment that you rely on the most? And depending on where you're shooting and stuff, like what are some of the go-to equipment that you kind of
Yeah.
have and always use?
I mean, to be honest, so I mean, I shoot with one camera frame right now because that's all I have in my arsenal. We've talked about this. Like,
Mhm.
I think once you get to a certain point, like everyone in videography and photography are like, okay, I want another frame. I need a secondary, for whatever reason, to have a backup, or because I want to be able to shoot something separate. Like I said, the what I shoot on now, the 6400 it's my first mirrorless camera. I had a Nikon D3200 that I bought like 15 years ago and didn't really do a whole lot with.
Mhm.
So I bought this, and then, I had the kit lens that came with it, 18 to 135. So I learned a little bit with that. And then I bought I bought a cheap 10 millimeter and a cheap 35 prime,
Mhm.
10 millimeter fisheye and a 35 millimeter prime. And both of those are manual lenses, So once I got those, I went downtown and started messing around, putting in manual and figuring out, manual focus and how to do composition and lighting and camera and stuff. And then, and it's also like driven because I've had people, anyone can be like, does the camera really matter? Does the lens really matter? And not really, you can be like, no, the kit doesn't really matter because you could have the most expensive camera, but if you don't have the vision or like the creative drive or whatever, then it's not going to matter.
Yeah.
You can take pictures all day long, but being able to, it doesn't have to be a $10,000 camera or whatever either,
Mhm.
like I had a lot of fun. I haven't really done it recently, but taking my fisheye out and going downtown.
Yeah.
I've taken it to a couple like dojo sessions with people who are sparring and stuff, and it's
It's
cool.
a different look.
It is
Yeah,
absolutely
different look.
so but I learned really and truly. I learned most of my like prime lens knowledge and a lot of my manual shooting on those.
Yeah.
because I was doing close up subjects and stuff like that. And then as I like started getting into different things, where I needed something that was had a little more reach and stuff like that. So now I have a 18 to 50, which on here is great for really primarily MMA or even everyday kind of use and stuff.
Yeah.
So, and then I have a telephoto that I would use for like outdoor, or even sports, like doing softball and stuff like that. So I think I pretty much have like a lot of my focal range covered.
Yeah.
But I still, like I want like a 24 to 70 because that's a little bit bigger range, but I also want like a full frame camera. This bigger is better megapixels.
Yeah.
I can do more with it, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but I will say like my kit has not driven my creativity.
Yes.
It's been the other way around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because once I started out with those and saw what I could do, and it just kind of like slowly progressed and just morphed into something else. And it was like, oh, okay, cool. So this is what a fisheye or 35 can do.
Yeah.
Right? Oh shit. Okay. Now let's see. Oh, I want to be able to do something in low light, but have zoom or whatever. And like, when we talk about getting reps in, like,
Yeah.
that's when you figure out that
Yeah.
stuff. Like,
Because then that's what you're like, I know what I could use right now.
Yeah, for sure.
When you're going into let's say you're going into a shoot, you're like, all right, I have XYZ. I already kind of have an idea what I'm going to go about it because you have the reps in.
Yeah. And you
I think
try
that's very
different stuff out.
important, yeah.
Yeah. And and it's just like I got for videography, like learning that you shoot in a specific frame rate or a specific exposure and it doesn't change, but you use an ND filter versus a regular photography where we adjust exposure a lot and stuff like that. And those are different things that you learn going through those reps.
Yeah.
Right? So,
yeah, I love it. But that's the thing too, is it's like, for me is like, I always feel like, and when I'm going to something, I already have ahead of time what I'm going to shoot. I like that you're always like one camera guy and you already know where you're going to go do and shoot, but you have all that different range depending on what you're going to go do.
But it goes back to like, when you see me at an MMA event, I know those things now because it's my second or third or whatever. So I can at least show up and be like, okay, I'm going to be here, and here.
Yeah.
But now when you talk about gear, it's like, okay, so I could definitely rock like a prime lens, because I could go down the gear rabbit hole all the time and stuff. When you talk about, I want to have zoom capability with a crisp photo under low light conditions where
you got 2 G's.
Yeah. They're going to capture the movement, so you start talking about bigger aperture.
Yeah.
Like anything that has the word art next to it, it's a little more up there, but yeah, you going through those reps, you're like, okay, I know that if I shoot with this lens, I'll be able to capture better motion in low light, but I might lose a little bit of the crispness or clarity. Whereas if I'm doing portraits, I'm going to rock, this 50 with a 1.4